Hey guys, how's it going? I want to talk about Kamala Harris's interview at Theory of CEO with the Stephen Barnett, who I actually really like and listen to. And she actually revealed a couple of secrets and dropped some word about the former president Joe Biden. And she actually dropped the F word. So, okay, let's take a look at it.
I decided in writing this book I was going to just be honest. And these are the facts, and the reader can take what they want from it. On the day of the debate, my debate with Trump. And, so going into a presidential debate is an incredibly intense and intensive project, including what has historically happened that we even call debate camp. Can you imagine? And it's no camp at all. It's going into where you basically are sequestered for a period of time immediately before the debate. Where did you get all of these? This is Philippe, who played Donald Trump.
In your debate camp?
In my debate camp. And he never broke character, ever.
So this is a fake Trump that was brought in?
This is the fake Trump. He would do the makeup, the orange makeup, the long red tie. He was just awful. awful, in the best way, in trying to get me prepared. And there were a lot of people like Philippe. There were a lot of people who are, I'm very fortunate. I have people who have been with me for years and years and years through these various offices. And, even if they go on to different positions, they always come back when needed. And so debate camp was this intense, basically a preparation process where your team will basically they'll break you and then build you back up. So the day of the debate was after that intense period of preparation. And then that morning I had a meeting with my team. I thought it was going to be more prep, but they actually were wonderful and just basically said to me, "You're ready." So, okay, then being a woman running for president, and many women in various high-level positions get their hair and makeup done. Mm-hmm. Back to your point about presentation. And it can take hours. Hair and makeup got done. I'm in the hotel room with Doug, with my husband. And the president calls. And I was told that he wanted to call me so that I'd be ready. And I was so sure it was to buck me up and go get him. And he did say that for the first beat. And then he went on to talk about a group of people in Pennsylvania who were saying bad things about me because they heard I was saying bad things about him. And when I hung up the phone, it was unbelievable. And I was angry and deeply disappointed. It was so unnecessary. There are only two people in the world other than me that has debated this guy, Hillary Clinton and him. And you know what it's like. It's going into a debate with the stakes being that high, and Trump hadn't agreed to another debate. The stakes were so high. So that's an example of what I mean.
You took something from that. You took an underlying message about one's intentions from that, because I would. If someone called me in the lead up to debate prep and said something like that to me, I would assume that they don't want the best for me.
My takeaway is his motivation was all about himself.
That's what I would assume from that.
Yeah.
I would assume that.
Yeah, right. Obviously, right. Yeah. It wasn't about my performance at the debate.
Do you think he wanted you to win the election?
I do, because I was the only one who would be able to preserve his legacy.
But even that's about him.
All right, guys. So I think that was a bombshell thing to say. She was the only one to preserve Joe Biden's legacy. Kamala Harris just said that Joe Biden called her right before the debate with Donald Trump. And instead of giving her advice on how to prepare herself and how to, go against Trump, Joe Biden actually told Kamala Harris that group of people who were actually talking bad about Kamala Harris, all of the Biden's motivation was actually, all about himself, not about her.
That's why he'd want me to win. Yeah. And of course, that this all wouldn't be happening. I don't think anybody who cares about the future of the country, the democracy, or even just protecting the Constitution of the United States would have wanted this. Yeah.
Just a bit of a reminder to me that a lot of people in the highest places in power are...
Just a quick question here, guys. Do you guys think Joe Biden has a legacy? Like, what's Joe Biden's legacy?
Self-focused.
Yeah, that is the case.
And
I think that is the case. I've seen it.
Maybe, dare I say, that's how they get there?
I think that may be a big part of it if they don't have something else that is the pull or the push.
Yeah. Because I look at your life and your career and I see a dedication to the same thing, which is like serving people. Yeah. And it's at the expense of financial opportunities and other opportunities you could have pursued. And it seems to be really, really authentic to me that your agenda was to serve people. I can't say that about everybody else that I've studied or interviewed in the political environment. And the other thing that, so I watch all these debates. I'm such a big fan of American politics. So I was up at 12 years old watching Obama get inaugurated or whenever it was. I was a young kid at the time. I stay up and watch all the debates. I always have since I was a kid. I watched that debate. But the debate that came before with Biden and Trump, it was so apparently clear that this was not okay. Yeah. And it felt like the whole of the Democratic side of politics was pretending everything was okay. Mm-hmm. That's kind of my observation from the UK. I was like, why are they all pretending everything's fine? But this was clearly an individual that was very much struggling with articulation, with ideas. Yeah. And in the face of someone like Trump, who, to his credit, is able to pounce on that, to be very quick.
And he interestingly enough, because of course I watched that debate very closely for many, many reasons, including I had 4 interviews right after his debate.
Okay.
To speak on behalf of the president during the debate. And what was interesting in that debate was also to watch how it's a very rare circumstance that you see Donald Trump actually moderate. It was fascinating.
You must have known. You sat there. Well, you were in LA at the time, right?
I was in LA at the Fairmont Hotel.
Watching.
And
what was going on?
Taking vigorous notes. I had ordered, like they had a little crudité plate, and I was like, no, this is a pizza night. I ordered pizza for everyone. I had a number of people with me, but I had a tight group of people with me in the room. He called me from debate camp. Mm-hmm. The president did, Biden did, and I could tell something was a little off. And I was concerned about, I don't think he wanted to debate, is my point. He didn't want that debate. And, it's like any competition you go in, whether it's you're bidding for something, if it's sports, you got to want it, right? If you don't want to be in the competition, it will absolutely have an impact on your performance. And I'm pretty sure he did not want to debate.
How'd you know? What were the signs?
Well, we had conversations about it. I think he got talked into it.
All right. So did you just hear what she said? According to his former VP, just admitted that Biden didn't want to debate Trump and he was talked into doing it. And just want to remind you that this is not something happened 10 years ago or 20 years ago, okay? This just happened in 2024, just over a year ago. I think Kamala did a decent job, poking Trump so much and actually, getting to his head. But the thing is, guys, I did not like how Kamala Harris is actually laughing just so much at Trump. She was also keeping her hand in her chin, like, I believe this way or that way. And I honestly find that that was literally inappropriate, even though she was having fun, but I don't think that was a good look for her on a presidential debate that day. But who knows? People, a lot of people may not agree, but that's just my take. All right, guys. So that was the interview with Kamala Harris. She's doing her book tour. And I think Stephen asked her pretty good questions. But from the interview, another thing that stood out was she really thought she would win the election in 2024. But I would guess that if she actually won the election, how would the country would look like today or next 3.5 years, right? Until the next election, what would have happened? I honestly didn't think Kamala Harris would have tightened the immigration. I don't think she would have closed the border. To be honest, under Kamala Harris, crimes and chaos would have spiked up just because of her broader view on crime, how, she encouraged, be soft on crime. If you guys look at the California, that's the same with the Gavin Newsom governor, they don't want to prosecute. They're easy on a crime. They are all up for defunding of police for a long time, right? And they praised for police department and police officers right before the election. But during these 4 years or during the non-election years, they don't care about the police officers or they don't care about the cleaning up the homelessness, etc. And I think actually Kamala Harris would have made everything worse. But my speculation is she's probably gonna run again for president. But I don't know if in the primary who will win, whether it's a Gavin Newsom from our Democratic Party or a Kamala Harris. And I guess we'll see. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.